To a turnaround in all of Detroit, the new CTS and Escalade hybrid models are getting rave reviews from consumers and also from the critics.
You know, I got a whole bunch of critics here that seem to love this thing. It is still big, but it uses a lot less gas than they used to. Now, it couldn't come at a better time either. Our next guests say the entire auto industry is poised to rebound. AutoNation CEO Mike Jackson and Chief GM designer Ed Wellborn join us live from Fort Lauderdale to talk about cars, stimulus, and the state of the economy. Good to see you both. Mike Jackson, last time we had you here, we're going to talk about the Cadillac, don't get me wrong, but I want to just finish up talking about the stimulus. We hadn't quite seen it all played out. What do you think of the stimulus plan as we now know it?
Well, first, let's talk about the rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. I certainly feel better than I did 2 weeks ago because I was still concerned they hadn't really got it. But the Federal Reserve has said now unequivocally the risk of recession is there, and they're going to do whatever it takes to minimize that or to push it off. Now, as far as the stimulus package is concerned, well, nobody's going to buy a new house and nobody's going to buy a new car because of the stimulus package. So I think it's nice to get out there. It's a nice to have, but the structural problem in the marketplace is housing and big ticket items like automotive, and there it's up to the Federal Reserve.
All right, so here you are to talk about the Cadillac, which is definitely, I love one of the headlines that I saw that said, the new Cadillac is still conspicuous, but with less consumption. Ed, let's talk about this new Cadillac. What makes you think that it's really going to revitalize a lot of Detroit, if not all of Detroit?
Well, I would say it's all about design and having dramatic presence in the design theme for the vehicle. We take it very serious, and I believe at the Detroit show, with the hybrid Escalade, with the CTS, which has won numerous awards, CTS-V, and the CTS Coupe, we really put a stake in the ground for Cadillac design.
Now, Mike, this is not a small ticket item. This is going to cost, correct me if I'm wrong, but I read one review in Forbes saying $70,000 all in. So this is for the high rollers, right?
Well, all hybrids are for the high rollers. It's not a mass market concept yet because there's a definite premium for the technology. And thus far, those who have bought hybrids have a high sense of social responsibility and the economic means to express it. So you need that combination.
I understand, but Mike, I'm wondering if there's going to be a sort of a Prius model, if you will, of this model for folks who aren't quite as well heeled as those who can buy the Cadillac.
Well, the interesting thing about the Prius is that we have volume cars with hybrid technology. The fascination with the Prius is that it has unique sheet metal, which has nothing to do with underlying technology. So that's why I say it's a social responsibility statement. But speaking about General Motors, we have the new Malibu coming with a very nice hybrid system.
Yeah, I would say we've got a very broad portfolio of hybrids, ranging from hybrids at the Saturn brand with the Aura and with the Saturn Vue at that price point, and then the Malibu for Chevrolet and the Tahoe, and then on up to the Escalade.
Let me get back to what it might do for Detroit and perhaps at least a slice of the economy. You guys know certainly that in the Michigan area there's so many foreclosures. It's just a disaster in some of the states up north. What would something like this do for them? Do you have any plants that you expect will be sprouting up there? Would there be increased hiring? And Mike, what are you hearing from customers? Are they calling up saying, I want that hybrid Cadillac?
Well, two things, Liz. It's a very difficult economic environment. We have a housing depression, and we've been in an automotive recession. I think the important point is that there's been dramatic cuts in the production of homes and houses for 2 years. So we're deep into this. These downturns usually last 30 to 40 months, depending when the medicine comes. Well, thank goodness the medicine is finally here and in good doses, which makes me feel a bit better about the second half of this year and certainly much more confident about '09. Yeah, we still have some tough months to go through and tough periods to go through. But the medicine is there, and great products are on the way.
Hey, Mike, we're just getting word as I speak of Home Depot cutting major jobs at its headquarters, about 500 jobs right at their headquarters. Are there going to be more cutting of jobs in your particular industry, in the industry of those folks who actually sell cars?
I think what's different today in our industry that you didn't necessarily see in the past is that the manufacturers have introduced flexibility into their production plans by dramatically reducing capacity. And that was a painful journey for the manufacturers over the last 2 years. But what it means is they don't have to come with stupendous insane incentive programs, but rather they can cut production. And imagine, Detroit has said that the environment's tough, and they have proactively reduced production and the painful headcount reduction that comes with that. But I think that's better for the industry than what we used to do.
Ed, give me a last word on whether Cadillac will be opening new plants, as far as you know.
I think Cadillac has a very bright future. You know, Liz, we're here at the Fort Lauderdale Museum of Art celebrating the great age of American automobile design in the 40s and 50s, and it's most appropriate that we're here with Ed, who has led the renaissance of design at Cadillac. And Cadillac has a very bright future. They got a lot of hot products.
You know, I'm not going to talk about plants, but I will talk about the fact that the CTS is really in very short supply. It's the demand for the vehicle is quite strong. Same with Malibu. All of our launch vehicles, the new Buick Enclave is in short supply as well.
Mike Jackson and Ed Wellborn, Mike of AutoNation, Ed of Cadillac, thanks both very much for appearing on Fox Business.
Great to see you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Liz, good seeing you today. Thank you, David.
To see you.
Thank you.
Let's get back to this Home Depot